Okay guys, we're going to show you guys how to install axle tube braces the wrong way. Stay tuned. So we're working on a Dana 30 from an XJ. This is a high pinion Dana 30. We've got a Dana 30 that's a low pinion in the vehicle, so we're trying to do an upgrade here. And while we do it, we're going to do our axle tube braces. So these are going to come in. We're going to come on the end of the axles, and these are just going to pound in. They're kind of a press fit to go in there. So we'll do it on both sides. But what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit different. We're kind of battling between getting the right caster angle and still getting the pinion angle right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of cut and turn. So we're going to keep the C's at the right caster angle, but we're going to tilt the pinion up a little bit so we get a better driveline angle, keep that U-joint out of harm's way on the rocks. So we'll see how that goes. We'll show you what we're doing. That's coming up next. So now we're going to be at the point when you're going to use these tube sleeves kind of more conventionally. We'd come in and we'd take our tube sleeve, and these are ones we make right here in-house, US steel, made right here in Minnesota. But what we do is we turn the OD down so it's a real nice tight fit in the factory housing, put a nice chamfer on it so you've got a nice lead-in coming in, and then you're going to come in and take that bar and you're going to put it into the factory tube, and you're just going to put a block of wood or something on here. You're going to come in and hammer it in with a 8-pound sledge or something, and it's going to be tough. You're going to push it all the way in. You've got a 1/4-inch wall here, 1/4-inch wall there. You're basically looking at a 1/2-inch wall thickness. It's going to be super stout that way. But what we're going to do is a little bit different. We're going to use it kind of like a fixture, and we're going to cut that axle right here, and we're going to do the same on the other side. And what that's going to allow us to do is it's going to keep our caster where we want it. It's going to keep our coil spring indexed with the caster, but it's going to allow us to tilt that pinion up so that we can get the proper drive shaft angle. Anytime you're sitting at 5, 6, maybe 8 inches of lift in these XJs, your drive shaft angle is just so steep that it's really tough to try and get a good driveline angle or to get rid of the vibrations out of it. This is really going to help to solve that. And this is kind of one of these projects that your DIY guy with some moderate fab skills can do. I know it's intimidating, but we're going to show you step by step. So it's a pretty simple process. Just do it piece by piece, and it's going to be something you can do. So our next thing is going to be, we're going to come in, pull the diff cover off, pull the carrier assembly out, and then we're going to use the Iron Rock Off-Road axle straightness jigs. And we're going to come in and make sure this axle's straight. That way if there's any straightening that's got to be done, we're doing it now before the tube braces are in place. It's going to be a whole lot easier, and we're going to get a lot better finished product that way. So these are the Iron Rock Off-Road CNC aluminum pucks. We're going to basically put these in place of the carrier and the carrier bearings. And we're going to take a piece of 1 5/8" diameter D.O.M tubing, and we'll run that basically through the center of it. And then we're going to be able to look at the distance inside the axle tube and tell if we're tilted up, tilted down, same thing on both sides. So this is kind of the view that we're looking for. We want to see that inner brace, that straightness fixture next to the factory tube. And you can see we're pretty even, top to bottom, front to back, and that's really what we're looking for. It is a really tight fit to get it in there. You see there's not a lot of room, and you can see this old axle's got a lot of dirt and grime inside. It's just a junkyard axle, so it's been on the road here in Minnesota for probably 25 years. But this is a great way to check it. This is a perfect result. We're not going to straighten it. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to come in, put our tube sleeve in, and keep going with the project. We make the tube braces for the XJ Dana 30, the ZJ Dana 30, the TJ Dana 30, and the TJ Dana 44, as well as the JK 30 and the JK 44. So we've got all the options for you as far as that goes, but you could even do it on a Dana 60 or whatever your axle of choice is. But how we're going to do this, it's going to be real important for us to cut this nice and straight so that when we do rotate it, we don't kind of get a wedge effect from an angled cut. So we're just going to try and take some painter's tape, and we're just going to try and get it nice straight wrap around. So now we'll use that as a guide to run a Sawzall down. We'll cut that off, and then that'll be easier for us to clean this up. We'll get it all cleaned up. We'll slide that sleeve in, put it in, and then we'll be able to set our angle finder here to adjust the angle that we're looking for. We'll do a before and after measurement on that. So we zeroed out our digital angle finder, and what we're looking to do, we're going to do one side at a time, so we're not really worried about the relationship on anything right now. We're setting this to 0. We're going to come over here. We're basically at 0. So once we cut this, we're going to just simply rotate that back 5 degrees. We'll tack weld it all together, and then we'll come back and do the reverse on this side. So we've got the axle cut off of it. So now we're just coming inside. We grabbed a piece of pipe that we had laying around, and we kind of scraped everything clean. Used an air compressor, blew it out. Used a wire brush to try and clean everything up as well as we can, both sides of it. And then we were able to take the axle sleeve itself, and we were able to just kind of push it in there and twist it and keep pushing until we got all of the debris out. And then we did the same on the stub side here. So that way when we're able to get it all lined up, we line it up so it's flush out here at the end. So we've got a good weld surface. We'll clean that up real nice for the weld. We're going to set this at an 1/8 of an inch gap. Once we're all set, we'll bevel it with a 45-degree angle on both sides so we can get a full penetration weld. But now we're able to roll this back. We'll come back 5 degrees. That's going to give us our 5-degree additional pinion angle that we're looking for. We'll be able to get our caster back to where it was stock. But we cut it here as opposed to doing anything out at the C, because now our coil springs are going to remain in phase, and they're going to be nice and level and running parallel to the body mount. And then with this tube brace in there, I mean, we've got virtually no movement at all. There's almost nothing there. So it's super nice for the fact that you kind of can't screw it up. You get it all together and it's good. We're going to drill some holes so we can do some plug welds. That way everything's unitized. We'll fully weld this, and then this side's going to be just bomb-proof. So we've got our plug holes drilled so that we're good to put our plug welds in. Our tube is basically in place. Just wanted to show you that we didn't grind this down to 0. We wanted to leave a little bit of the factory tube remaining so that we made sure that we didn't actually change the length of this and again cause us trouble with the axle shafts. So we left a little bit. We're going to be able to assemble it all. So we're going to get this flush to the end like this. Set it so that we've got 5 degrees of additional caster that we didn't have before. Double check our gap. So we're good. We're ready to put some weld on it. We'll weld this side up fully, then we're going to come in and do the same over on this side. So we've got everything all welded. We've got our plug welds. We did a 2-pass weld in through here. Make sure we've got everything bonded well, everything's assembled well. We came in and welded the end of it. So we're looking to gain 5 degrees. So we're at 0 here. We gained 5.2 degrees. So we're right where we want to be. So now this side's going to be just a little bit tougher. We're going to actually come in here and get the lower control arm mount cut off. And we're going to cut right next to this weld. And that way we've got still a little bit of room to make our weld and get this piece cut off. Put the tube in, get it all welded back together. So we're going to start with cutting off that control arm mount and trying to get a cut right across here and lop that thing off. Okay, so we got this driver's side. We'd got it all cut off, chamfered it. We came in, put the sleeve in. So what we're gonna do now is, we had a little bit of a challenge on this side because the lower control arm mount was in our way. So we cut the lower control arm mount off, and we've got the Iron Rock Off-Road heavy duty control arm mount that we're gonna put back on. We'll do the same on the passenger side as well. But we had to do that to get the clearance to be able to get this cut off. But if you look inside through here, you're gonna see we put a straightness jig back in here because this side's just a little bit looser, so we've got some room there. So we're gonna come in, use this bottle jack to adjust our height. It's not looking for a lot of force, but just this gives us kind of infinite adjustability. And now we're about perfect there. We'll hold everything static so nothing's moving. We'll come in, set our space, tack weld it, then we'll fully weld it, then we'll come in and put our control arm mount on. So we just got done welding everything up. So we did our 2 passes around the tubes, and then we did a pass around the end. And now we know that we've got this all solid and secure. We double checked, we were at 5 degrees more caster than what we used to have. So we're gonna be able to tilt that pinion up. We're gonna still be able to stay in the range we want. So now, part of this process though, we did have to cut off the lower control arm mount. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna reattach our new heavy duty mount. So this is gonna be the Iron Rock Off-Road heavy duty lower control arm mount. We sell them in the pair. Check them out on the website. But we'll put this one on, then you'll be able to see what the factory one looked like next to it over here. And you can see that it's a hell of a nice upgrade. Well, we're all wrapped up with the welding and fabrication side of this project. So we cut in 2 different locations, rotated those C's up. Now we're getting really nice drivability because we're gonna have the caster sitting where we want it. We're gonna have coil springs running nice and vertical. We're not gonna have that kind of angle that's gonna be giving you spring bow and that type of stuff. Our pinion angle is gonna be way better. We're gonna have no driveline vibes. We're gonna track down the road really straight. Now with the inner axle sleeves, we have 1/2 inch of wall thickness on our tubes. So this thing's gonna be super stout. We got the heavy duty control arm mounts that we put on. So we've got the 1/4 inch plate versus under an 1/8 inch plate from the factory. So this thing's gonna be stout. Put the gears in it and get this thing ready and get it onto the Jeep.